Well, hello. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Sarah Janes from Soap School, and today I thought I would make my pumpkin spiced latte soap. It's that time of year and I'm really excited to be making it. Well, what am I using here? Well, the recipe is underneath, so do grab that from the description. But here I have fresh brewed coffee, which I've actually added into my lye solution. I have my oils. I'm going to be using some pumpkin puree today. Now you can make your own puree, or I cheated and just used the tinned because I don't have any fresh pumpkins right now. They'll be in season really soon though, so that will be exciting. And then I am going to be using ground cinnamon and ground 5-spice. It smells absolutely beautiful and it's going to pair really nicely with the pumpkin and the coffee. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a decoration on the top, so I've got 2 mica colours here. But the first thing I need to do is to take a little bit of my oil, and I'm just going to put some of that oil into my 2 micas and just create a really nice pattern onto the top, and just get those mixed. Get them all ready for decorating the top. It's going to just look so pretty. This particular brown one is a colour from TKB Trading and it's called Swiss Chocolate, and it's a beautiful rich brown. It just works beautifully in your cold process soaps. I'm going to be using a small slab mould for this particular soap, but of course you could do this in a loaf as well. So I'm going to add that beautiful brewed coffee into my oils. I absolutely love coffee. Although I'm British and supposed to love tea, it really is not my thing at all. I don't know about you, but no, just not my thing. I like a nice cup of coffee. In fact, on a morning, I really don't function very well until I've had at least a couple of cups. Now I've mixed my lye in, but I want to put my pumpkin in as well, because if I don't put it in at this stage, it's going to be a lot more difficult to actually mix it in. So my pumpkin is going to go in right at the beginning. Just break that up a little bit before I use some power. Just get it mixing a little bit, and let's give this a whiz. Woo! Look at that. Oh yes. It looks amazing. And I already want a cup of coffee. I think I'm going to add my spices in right now and get those in. So this is my cinnamon powder. We were very lucky with the cinnamon. We read the label and miraculously, although they've aged this cinnamon for how many years was it, Sean, that they said on the...
It says it's been matured 20 years.
Matured for 20 years, this cinnamon. And yet, luckily for us, we've managed to make soap out of it just a few months before it runs out of date on their labelling. Even after 20 years of maturing. Wasn't that fortuitous of us? But seriously, your spices are not going to go out of date. So if you're making soap, please don't be worrying and thinking, oh my goodness, I can't use that. You absolutely can.
As long as you keep them dry, you'll be fine.
Exactly. There we go. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. Now I'm using essential oils, and I've got cinnamon leaf and orange in mine. You could of course use a spiced latte fragrance oil if you preferred. I want to split this into 2. And I'm going to add a little bit of titanium dioxide, just a part of it. So let's pop some of this. So I'm going to add some titanium dioxide into this one. Just make it a little bit lighter in colour for some contrast. Give that a really good mixing. Oh yes, doesn't that look wicked? That is going to be so yummy. Let's pour this. Put a nice, look at that lovely kind of coffee-ish layer. And of course that's got all of our spices in it. It's got all of that beautiful fresh pumpkin puree in it. It's nice and random. Okay, let's scrape out what we've got left. It would be a real shame to waste any of this. It's so yummy. I always seem to miss the corners. I'm really trying at the moment to make sure that I do get some of the contrasting colour right into the corners. And just scrape out the last bits of our beautiful pumpkin spiced latte soap. I think I'll just go through a little bit with my spatula. Just give it a little bit of a twirl. Let's give this a good old slap. I'm going to drizzle all of these beautiful micas over the top. So I'm just going to use a pipette. I'm going to start with the dark one first, I think. This was the Swiss chocolate. And I got this one from TKB Trading. But I'm sure that there'll be something similar near you if you can't get that particular colour. It's a nice good old drizzle. Don't forget the little splatty bits, the squirty bits, because they really do add to the design, I think. And then I'm going to go over the top with, this particular one is called Inca Gold. This one's from Happy Olive. It can be lines, it can be dots, it can be splatters. It's whatever you feel like you want to put onto your soap. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a pretty swirl all over the top. Oh, this just looks so beautiful, and the smell is heavenly. Can't wait for this one to go right into my bathroom. And there we go, my pumpkin spice latte soap. Let's put this to bed under some blankets and we'll come back and see this one tomorrow ready for a cut. Well, it's ready. Oh, let's turn this one out. I do love the colours. I love the kind of almost reddish tones of the brown that I used, and that gold. It does give it a really lovely pop. There's part of me that still hankers for the original colour without even adding the mica, because it was just so pretty. So I think next time I do this, I might leave the mica off completely. Let's just mark where I need to cut this one. So what's that fine line, isn't it, of how far do you go? And sometimes it's just so easy to go that little bit further than you thought. And initially when I looked at it, I was thinking, oh, these micas are going to look absolutely gorgeous on top, and I do like them, but I really liked the actual look of it before I put the mica on. There we go, that's bang on the middle. Oh yes, look at that ping, satisfying ping. And look at the beautiful swirl inside that. That looks so good. Probably should actually measure it rather than eyeballing it. Because how many times have I made that mistake over the years, thinking, oh yes, I know exactly where to cut, and then you don't, and they end up all different shapes. Have you ever done that? Have you kind of thought that you knew where you were cutting, and then it ended up being completely wrong when you actually got there? And now look at that beautiful swirl again. It really is absolutely lovely. I probably could have cut this into a lot more bars. I'm only going to do this into 4, and I could have easily got 6 out of this. But sometimes you want a chunky bar, and this is going to give me exactly that. Again, that lovely swirl all of the way around. I really like this. And there it is, my pumpkin spiced latte soap. This is a soap that I only make about once a year, and every single time I make it, it looks completely different. But isn't that the fun of soap making? You can take a set of simple ingredients and completely transform them and work them into something very, very different. I hope that you've enjoyed hanging out with me today. I can't wait to see you with me really, really soon. You take care. Bye bye.